In our last tutorial, we created this fork bracket, and we did that using just basic dimensioning and sketch tools. But what I want to do now is I want to introduce you to sketch relations, and I'm going to do that by backing up a little bit, and let's go ahead and revisit this part by editing the sketch. So if we have a particular feature that we want to edit, we can find it over here in the feature tree on the left hand side. If you ever want to scroll back in the life of your part, you can grab this scroll bar and scroll forward one step at a time and see how you created your part. In this case, we'll scroll all the way to the front, but then I'm going to come back, and if I click on a particular feature or extrusion here, I can go ahead and edit that, and it shows me the little edit sketch tool, and I'm going to click on that. And now I'm in this sketch tool, and I can edit this guy. So the purpose here is that we wanted these two circles to be the same size, to be centered on the part, and to be some distance away from the end. And we did this using dimensions. And this is okay. The only problem is that, say I edit one of the circles to be a little bit larger, like 25 millimeters. Now the other one isn't 25 millimeters, it's still 20.6, and I have to come in and edit it separately. What would be better is if we could relate the size of those two circles together so that they're linked to always be the same. And this we're going to do with a sketch relation. The same thing has to do with the fact that I want these two circles to be vertical from each other, and so I had to dimension twice for 68 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and delete a bunch of these dimensions here so that I can demonstrate how we can be a little bit more efficient by using a really powerful tool called sketch relations. Okay, so I'm back to just having these two basic circles. What I can do is if I click on one circle's center point and then hold Control and click on the other circle's center point, you can see a relation manager is opened in the left-hand panel. And I can choose horizontal, vertical, fix, or merge. In this case, I want those 2 points to always be vertical. Okay. Once I add that relationship, now if I move one circle, the other one is going to move with it and maintain that relationship of being vertical. You'll also notice that there's a little box next to this that's green with a black line going straight up and down. That's a vertical relationship. If I want to get rid of this relationship, I can click on the point, click to highlight that, and click delete. And now they're no longer related to stay vertical. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and put that back on because I did want them to be related to each other vertically. Okay, so 2 points you can relate to be vertical or horizontal. All right. Next, I want the size of the circles to be the same. So if I grab the edge of the circle and the edge of the second circle, what I can do is I can set them to be co-radial, tangent, concentric, or equal. And I'm going to choose the equal sign. And that's going to make it so that now these two circles, if I grab one of them and drag it to be larger, it's going to grab the other one and make it larger as well. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to want to do is go ahead and put a dimension on the diameter of this circle, and I believe we wanted that to originally be 20.6 millimeters. Okay, and then recall that it was 68 millimeters from this edge, so I can go ahead and put 68. And then I need to dimension this guy from the edge, and that was 19 millimeters. And then I need to put a distance between them. Oops, that's not. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go ahead and add another dimension between the 2 points. That was 32 millimeters. Okay, you can see now my sketch is fully defined by just using 4 dimensions instead of the previous 6 or 7 dimensions that it took to fully dimension the sketch. Alright, so we can go ahead and exit, and it updates and it looks exactly the same. We can do the same thing down here where we had our fork cutout, the slot. Notice I had to put dimensions of 100 on each of these, and if you'll recall, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. The reason I had to do that is because some odd things were happening. See how that circle I don't really want it to look like this. I want the circle to be tangent with each of these lines. And you can see, in fact, that there is a relationship there for it to be tangent to the top line, and I just need to add a relationship for it to be tangent to the bottom line. So I grab the circle and the line, and you can see in the flyout menu, it suggests, do you want to make that tangent? And I click yes, I do want to make that tangent. Now my sketch is fully defined and I've been able to remove a dimension. I'm going to remove one more dimension. I can go ahead and delete this distance dimension, and you'll see now I can move this up. What happens now is I can right click on the line and choose select midpoint of that initial line. And then I can hold control and right click on this one and select its midpoint. Now what I'm going to want to do is I want to move this drawing around so that it is centered on the drawing. So I'm going to actually grab this center point, and let's see if it will allow me to select the midpoint of that line and then the center point of the circle, and I say make those horizontal. Okay, you can see my sketch turns black because now it's become fully defined. So now with just 2 dimensions I can do the work of 4 dimensions by using sketch relations. As you progress in SOLIDWORKS, you'll want to be using sketch relations more and more. It keeps the heart of the design in mind, and then if you come back later and update a part, you'll make sure to maintain what you were after. So in this case, having this slot centered rather than a particular distance off the edge.